There are some cases that stand out, not just because of what happened, but because of where people were found. In most missing person cases, investigators follow patterns. People are usually found in places that make some level of sense. But in certain situations, the location itself becomes the mystery. Places that are difficult to reach, places that seem almost impossible, or places that raise one simple question: how did they end up there? In this video, we're going to look at 3 real cases where people were found in locations they shouldn't have been. The first case is Kendrick Johnson. In January of 2013, Kendrick Johnson, a high school student in Georgia, was reported missing after he didn't return home from school. When his family realized something was wrong, they contacted authorities. School officials and law enforcement began searching the campus, checking classrooms, hallways, and common areas where he had last been seen. The next day, his body was discovered inside the school gym. More specifically, inside a rolled-up wrestling mat. The mat was standing vertically, and Kendrick was found head down inside it. According to the official explanation, he had climbed into the mat to retrieve a shoe that had fallen inside. While doing so, he became stuck and was unable to get out. However, what made this case stand out was the position and location. The opening of the mat was narrow, the space inside was tight, and the idea of someone getting stuck in that position raised questions for many people. Over time, this case has been widely debated. Some believe it was a tragic accident. Others feel that the circumstances don't fully explain what happened. Even now, the case continues to raise questions and remains a topic of discussion. Cases like this are difficult to understand because they challenge what we think is possible. And sometimes the location is only part of what makes the situation unusual. The second case is Elisa Lam. In 2013, Elisa Lam was staying at a hotel in Los Angeles. At some point during her stay, she disappeared. Days later, a video recorded in the hotel elevator was released. In the footage, Elisa appears to behave in a way that many viewers found unusual. She presses multiple buttons, steps in and out of the elevator, and looks into the hallway, as if reacting to something unseen. After that, she was not seen again. Weeks later, hotel guests began to complain about water issues. When staff checked the building's rooftop water tanks, they made a discovery. Elisa Lam had been found inside one of the tanks. The location itself raised immediate questions. The tanks were not easily accessible. The rooftop had security measures, and the opening of the tank was not designed for regular access. The official conclusion was that this was an accidental death, with contributing factors related to her mental health. However, the combination of the elevator footage and the unusual location led to widespread attention. Even today, this case continues to be discussed, not because of one single detail, but because of how everything fits together. The third case is Joshua Maddux. Joshua was 18 years old when he was reported missing in 2008 in Colorado. At the time, there were no clear signs of what had happened. There were no confirmed sightings, and for years the case remained unanswered. Then, in 2015, a discovery was made. His remains were found inside the chimney of an abandoned cabin. The position of the body suggested that he had entered the chimney from the top. This immediately raised questions. The chimney was narrow, the space was confined, and the idea of someone entering it voluntarily was difficult to explain. Investigators believed that he may have attempted to climb down and became stuck. but the exact sequence of events remains unclear. What makes this case stand out is not just the outcome, but the location itself. A place that is rarely considered an entry point, a place most people would avoid entirely, and a place that, in this case, became central to the mystery. Each of these cases is different. Different people, different circumstances, different outcomes. But they all share one common detail. They were found in places that don't immediately make sense.